Let's talk week 5. Let's get into it. And we will begin with Thursday night, where we have just one standalone game Thursday night. It is the Army Black Knights taking on the Temple Owls. And this is an AAC conference game because Army is now a member of the AAC. So this is a conference game for them, taking on the Temple Owls. We've got Army 13.5-point road favorites, 45.5 being the total here in this game. This Army team, man, is really good. Really good football team. Jeff Monken doing a nice job as the head coach. This is as good an Army team as I've seen in the trenches to begin a football season. O-line has been blowing people off the line of scrimmage. The D-line has been getting after it. They've been stopping the run. They've been absolutely phenomenal, really, along the offensive line and the defensive line, Army. I've been so impressed with what we've seen from them so far this season. You look at the team numbers. They're only giving up 85 rushing yards per game. They're shutting down the run. They're trying, and the passing, even the passing numbers are pretty good because 48th in the country, 186 passing yards allowed per game. Because the service academies, for as long as I've been alive, they've never been great in the secondary. Pass defense has always been a bit of an issue for teams like Army, teams like Navy, teams like Air Force. But this Army defense, man, I am just extremely impressed with them so far this season. I love the quarterback and the way he's playing, Bryson Daly. Not only, command of this triple option offense, but knows when to pitch it, knows when to hand it off, knows when to run himself. He is a heck of a running quarterback, and I didn't expect to see him run the football like this the way he is, but he's been phenomenal. In the destruction against Rice, and I laid the points with Army in that game, and it was about as easy a winner as you'll find. 37-14, they destroy Rice. Bryson Daly had 145 rushing yards, 3 rushing touchdowns as well. Kanye Udo, Dwayne Coleman also chipping in as far as the run game is concerned. Just extremely impressive. And I think what makes this Army team even better, there's a threat of a passing game down the field from Bryson Daly. Now, again, they're very, very selective, very, very selective as opposed to when he decides to throw the football. But when he does throw the football, he's been very efficient. He's been very accurate. Again, he only had 9 pass attempts against Rice, but he completed 6 for 107 passing yards and 2 touchdowns. Overall on the season, 3 passing touchdowns for Daly. So again, you still have to fear the ability to throw the football, which Army does have, probably bet more than they've had the last couple of years with this triple option offense. What do you make of Temple? Temple team that is not very good. We know that, but they are coming off 2 straight games where they've covered the number and been competitive, and you've seen improvement. They got blown out by Oklahoma first game, 51-3. They lose 38-11 to Navy on the road. The last 2 games, now these were at home. Keep that in mind. And this one is too. And maybe the home field has, been a bit of a boost for Temple. But they've been better in the last 2 games. And one of the reasons they've been better is because of the quarterback play. Evan Simon has been the quarterback. The transfer from Rutgers has taken over as the starting quarterback here for Temple the last 2 weeks because the other quarterback for them who started the year against Oklahoma and Navy is currently injured, and that's Forrest Brock. He started the first couple games this season for the Temple Owls, but he's been dealing with a wrist injury. So they went to Evan Simon in the Coastal game. He played pretty well in that game overall, 17-25, 2 touchdowns. And then he started again against Utah State. I think at that point they made the decision too because he played pretty well. We were competitive for the first time this year. We'll put him back out there. We won't rush Forrest Brock back. Let's see how Evan Simon does against Utah State. Hey, he was great. Nothing else to say. I mean, he was excellent, actually. 5 touchdown passes, 271 passing yards, 17 of 27 throwing the football. So you have to, and 49 rushing yards, bit of a dual threat as well, Evan Simon at the quarterback spot. So you got to give him credit. That being said, Coastal, they just got destroyed by Virginia. Start to question how good they are. We start to look at Utah State. This is a team I'm not high on at all. And so, yeah, that was very impressive to win, not just win it outright as an underdog, 6.5-point dog, but win 45-29, win by 16 points. That's impressive. But Utah State's not a very good program or football team this year. Let's see how this one goes against Army. Put it this way. I ain't going against Army. Not a chance. This is a team that has won every game by 17 points or more this year. They beat Lehigh by 35. They beat Florida Atlantic on the road by 17. They beat Rice by 23 last weekend. So 3-0 to start the year, straight up and against the spread. They've destroyed the point spread. It hasn't even been close. It's been a rocking chair winner. If you've taken Army each of the first 3 games, they've won every game by at least 17 points. There's no, it's Army or pass for this better. Period. If I'm betting this game, it's Army laying the points now, and I understand why it's moved a little bit, 11 up to 13.5. I know Evan Simon's given Temple a little pop in the offense, but I think Army's going to be able to do some damage. Here's a thing I'll throw at you too. I lean over 45.5. I get it. Army's going to be running a snail pace. Triple option teams do that. Service Academy teams are like that. They are not going to be in a hurry to snap the football. Possessions are going to be limited. I get that. But I think Army's going to be able to score at will against Temple's defense. I think they're going to, and I agree with what Trick or Treat's saying. The D line for Temple, I think, is going to get run over here in this game by this Army triple option. Keep in mind, they have a short week. Not only no bye week, which is always important when you're playing a triple option team, they have a short week too. You're going from Saturday to Thursday night to have to prepare for this triple option offense. Not easy for Temple. Not an easy week of prep for them. I still don't love the run defense, what we're seeing here from this Temple team. I think it's definitely going to be an opportunity here for Army to have success. Look at this Temple defense, 126th in the country, rushing yards per game, 221.8 rushing yards per game allowed by this Temple defense. That is not where you want to be weak when you're playing Army. I can tell you that right now. So I think Army can move the football and probably score on the majority of their possessions, even though there's not going to be as many possessions because they're going to play slow. But you got to upgrade the Temple offense, and I've upgraded the Temple. I've upgraded Temple as a team, but I've especially upgraded their offense with Evan Simon at quarterback. And now that he played so well against Utah State, even if Forrest Brock is healthy enough to come back from his wrist injury, I don't see them not starting Evan Simon again for a third straight game based on the way he's played at quarterback here for Temple. So I think Temple can do some offensive damage themselves here against Army because Army's defense has been awesome. But let's be honest, Rice has been terrible this season, especially offensively. They've struggled to put up points. Florida Atlantic's offense isn't very good. I'm not a big Cam Fancher fan, as I've said before. So I think Temple, especially playing at home, they can chip in some points. So total's low enough that I'm interested in the over a little bit here when it comes to this Army Temple game. And keep in mind with the Temple games so far, 54, 49, 48, 74 points. So all 4 Temple games so far this season have had at least 49 total points scored in the game. So I'm probably going to get there with over 45.5, even though you worry, of course, about how slow Army plays on offense. I still think we could get enough points to go over that total. And then from a side perspective, it's Army or nothing. I don't know if I'll lay the points, but I know I will not be on Temple in this game. That much I can tell you.